Gboko is described as about the fastest growing town in Benue State, north-central Nigeria. Perhaps after Makurdi, the state capital, that sits on the banks of River Benue, which is one of the two major rivers in the country. The town is not just the headquarters of Gboko local government, but that of the fourth largest ethnic group in Nigeria, the Tyav ethnic nationality, with indigenous people in Benue, Nasarawa, Taraba, Plateau, and Enugu states. The historic town, which hosts the palace of the paramount ruler and chairman of the Benue State Council of Traditional Rulers, was also the headquarters of the defunct Tyav Native Authority under the northern region from the colonial era up to First Republic Nigeria. From available records, the administrative status of Gboko started in 1933 when the Tyav division created by the British colonial masters was moved to the town from Makurdi, which later became the state capital in 1976 with the creation of the old Benue State out of then Benue Plateau State. Gboko is well known for being the host of one of Nigeria's major and oldest cement factories that contributed significantly to the growth of the town and the economy of some states in the north-central geopolitical zone, including Nasarawa, Plateau, and Kogi. It is on record that Gboko is a local government that has huge deposits of limestones in places like Tyav, which is the major raw material for the production of cement. As important as the town is to the socio-political and economic life of the country, the government at all levels have over the years allowed Gboko to be developed only by private and community efforts. Basic infrastructure and amenities have hardly been provided in the town by government or even the cement factory that was officially commissioned to begin operations in 1980.
There's no single public water supply in the whole of Gboko local government. The very one in Amaradu, which have been serving the entire local government, has been abandoned for more than 20-something years ago now. Nobody knows what is happening there, and the structures are still there, and nothing has been happening. In some areas, we are making use of boreholes from other persons' houses, and other individuals that have, at least there are ways to do that, can make use of boreholes. So we used to go to their houses, fetch our waters, and in most cases, some of our wells, we make use of them. In terms of government providing all these kind of things for us, we find it difficult for more than 10 decades now.
I'm going to manage a change, Pishi. Some of Fanto Zuana, I'm going to kill you more color. Young Sulwem Gilliam, kill Maladu Kera. Basify even Mavadega. So, Kumanyo Kunduka, Sikla, Zuam Gilliam, Hiboko, Timbelega. Na hingi ona zoa sikpa saba fanti manga hachuku soka we mbayolo na amgele masacha saba fanti manngele matsemblega kaza yolo sulu emi Gboko shaka shono denu walo Nigeria.
This is Straight Talk, and I am Tyav in Abuja, and we welcome all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the program. You can also join me in the conversation on my online platforms on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, with all the handles on the webpage of our partners, MediaDimensions.live, the Media Services Resource Center. Water, they say, is life. So for as long as government fails to provide this essential amenity for the people, they must look for alternatives of what they consider clean and safe water. The Amaradu Water Project, located in Gboko, Benue State, north-central Nigeria was officially commissioned in 1993. That is close to 30 years ago. And it was designed to actually provide potable water to about 2 out of the 23 local government areas in the state. But then a visit to this project after such a long period of time shows that nothing here is working. This project was executed by the military administration of then General Ibrahim Babangida as the Gboko Water Supply Scheme. The multi-billion naira water project reportedly worked for some years after it was commissioned, even though no attempt was made to distribute the water supply to most parts of the town, and very little is known about how the project fared in the other local government area of Buruku that was also supposed to be serviced by the water scheme.
From the beginning, the water been the help all this our community here. Even in the Gboko town, together with the Benue State there. But at long last, I don't know how the thing can start. The federal government stopped to supply the equipment where they use here to treat water. And the larger machine we connect to our liver, that is in Buruku, is almost 30-something kilos away from here, where they connect the water, they from there come. The machine there can't stop to pump. Then the other machines where they here, as the other one on top there, as you look at it, and the other ones, if you enter inside there, there's an underground building. There are heavy machines where they're there. All those ones, the engineers where they take care of it, stop to come. The management where they here, at long last, there was no payment. As this man, you look at him here, is one of the securities. They work, they stay, they manage a lot because they say this thing is in their own community. They cannot just leave it to spoil like that. It's one of them. This man served here for more than 10 years with us rally. And he refused to stop work. He's even coming there till today. Okay, I think you see they come. So that you'll be able to protect the remaining properties where he see here. So that nothing will just temper them. But nobody care for them. I don't know why where government don't they come again. That's why the water stopped to supply. This water project been get quarters here. But they said they carry the quarters and sell to individuals. People buy, and now there's no quarters, no workers. But really we're suffering. We're suffering here, no water.
This water commissioned in 1991 by former President Ibrahim Babangida. So just one company come here, they call them Tyav for the renovation. Starting from that time, this project stopped. There's no any other form of water concentrating here. As we go inside, you will see some machines they don't rot. So you will see some other things that just removed by thief. So there's no any something good enough for this place. As this community today, there's no anything concerning water. There's no any waterway, there's no anything concerning water.
Since it was commissioned in 91, has it supplied water at any point?
Yes, there's water for
for
some years, about 6 years ago. So the last other year we don't see any water.
Okay. It was supposed to supply water to Gboko town.
Gboko to Buruku side and the Benue Cement factory. They're supposed to supply water for all the different places.
So how do people get water now?
We are getting water to our own wells, local wells.
The site of the water treatment plant tells the unfortunate story of the project that has been allowed to rot away. Grasses have taken over the premises, and that the equipment have survived over the years, especially during the dry season, is by sheer luck. After our repeated visit, we finally had access into the treatment plant, and what stares you in the face is the criminal neglect of national asset for which public servants who had the responsibility should be held accountable for their actions and inactions. The underground water treatment machines and plant are submerged in water and permanently flooded, and we are told a number of them have also been tampered with by vandals. The Gboko Water Supply Scheme, popularly known as the Amaradu Water Project, reportedly stopped working between 1996 and 1999. And for over 20 years, the project has not supplied a single drop of water to the residents it was supposed to serve. There are no records of any budget allocation for the operations of the Amaradu Water Project from 1999 to date. As we speak, electrical fittings in the water treatment plant are all cannibalized. For want of time, we could not visit the facilities at the Buruku intake point, where water is supposed to be harvested from River Katsina, which is a major tributary of River Benue, and transferred to the Amaradu treatment plant. But it is obvious that the story will not be any different, if not worse. The most disturbing is the fact that officials have been removing some facilities from the water treatment plant under very questionable circumstances.
What I know here is that this place is our place. This is my house near this company. So last year, we saw people from, they said they're from Makodi. They said they sent them to come and carry one of the generator here. Then we youth from this area will come and stop them, that they should not carry the generator. So the area manager of Gboko come and tell us the signal is from Makodi, so we should leave them to carry it. So they carry the generator and go. That's what I know.
Have they been carrying other equipment like that before? That was the first time.
They have been carrying it before. Not only that one.
How then can the multi-billion naira Gboko Water Supply Scheme that has been abandoned for over 20 years be saved from its current deplorable condition and made functional to also serve its purpose of supplying clean and safe water to residents of one of the most populous and fast-growing towns in the country? The water project will serve the people of Benue State, but unfortunately, it is not the priority of the state government in the foreseeable future.
Will the water project, for instance, also be considered in your second term?
The Gboko Water Project?
Yes.
It's a federal government project. We are putting pressure on them. There has been a delegation that came to inspect. We look forward that we done. I've spoken to the National Assembly members to ensure that it's included in the budget, because it's a massive project that is beyond the state government to do.
You are not interested in taking it over?
Well, you can only take over projects like that where you have the resources. There is no resource we don't have. My priority now is to ensure that we round up we try to deplete the areas of salaries that were owing pensioners, civil servants, and then gratuities. It's so huge. So even if I have money now, my concentration would be to support these people.
Provision of potable water supply to the citizen is the responsibility of state government as well as local governments. It is not the responsibility of the federal government. Federal government is in charge of coordination, policy formulation, monitoring, and evaluation, as well as mobilization of resources to support the development of water resources for all users. So, wherever and whenever we develop any water supply infrastructure, is to support the state efforts. And wherever such is done, it is usually handed over to the state government. If it is a large scale, if it is a small scale like small boreholes, it is handed over to even to the community, to the washcom of the community, for ease of operation and maintenance. So the Gboko water supply project you mentioned that you said last work in 1999 must have been handed over to the state government for operation and maintenance. So the state government must have failed in their responsibility to adequately maintain the scheme, and that is why it's not working today.
So in categorical terms, the Gboko Yande Water Scheme, for instance, is not a project of the federal government?
It's not a project with the federal government again.
When was it handed over to the Benue State?
I think it must have been the 90s. I wasn't here then. It must have been the 90s. Like I told you, whenever we hand over schemes, we don't go back there again. And many of these, you wouldn't believe. We handed over Central Obia in Bayelsa State to Bayelsa State government in a very, very elaborate, ceremony. I was there. I handed over the documents, representing my minister was there behind me. But as soon as we left, the government of the day, they locked up the place. And up to today, they have not put into operation. A very brand new scheme. Brand new scheme. Constructed at a cost of almost 6 billion naira. Was handed over to the state government, and they said they cannot run it when there are many options. That scheme is to serve about, 14 communities who were benefiting when the contractor was in charge and test running it. A lot of stand posts, a lot of house connections, a lot. There, brand new, now locked up, cannot be used. When we finished the northern nation in Edo State, the scheme also brand new, constructed, good scheme, was handed over to Edo State government. Thanks to God, Edo State government is making efforts now to put that plant into operation and maintenance. We did Mango Water Supply Project also, which has been handed over to Plateau State government. They are making arrangements also to put into operation and maintenance. We have done Sapke Water Supply Project, which we also handed over, and so many of them like that. So we don't run plants. It is the responsibility of the state that have agencies. They have what they call state water corporations or boards that they have established that are supposed to be in charge of operation and maintenance of water supply schemes. So those are the ones that are supposed to address the issue of dilapidation. They are supposed to be generating revenue, or if they are not generating revenue, the state government is supposed to be giving them adequate subvention to run the scheme to serve the people. But appears across the length and breadth of the country, many of the state governments are playing lip service to the issue of water supply. And these have made citizens to resort to self-help. It's most unfortunate. Waters that are not wholesome is what people are drinking. And if you look at what is happening, more than 70% of the diseases that have been treated in the hospital are related to water diseases. So if government, the state governors, can really pay more attention to that, they will be solving the problems of the people to a large extent.
If the ministry revisited the Obia, will you revisit the Gboko Yande?
We are not revisiting for the sake of operation and maintenance. Ministry doesn't do that. It is the responsibility of the state government to do that, because the schemes have been handed over, and we won't go back to it again. We will only advise the state government to make the best use of the facilities that have been handed over to them. Because if we continue to go back, then how do we expand access in Nigeria? We have to increase access. So you can't do something, I give it to you, then you fail to maintain it, then I'll come back again to begin to maintain for you, when there are many others that don't have those such opportunity. So, as a matter of fact, it is the responsibility of the state, and state government should be alive to their responsibility.
The federal government and indeed the Federal Ministry of Water Resources hardly have other water projects in the 23 local government areas of Benue State, apart from most recently the Federal University of Agriculture Makurdi Water Supply Project. This is despite the operations and location of the headquarters of the Lower Benue River Basin and Rural Development Authority in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. The authority has at its area of coverage the 4 states of Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, and Kogi, and its host state, it can only boast of small irrigation schemes like the Naka project in Gwe West local government area of the state.
Apart from the Gboko Yanidas, from your explanation, it should be a state government project now. Is there any other intervention the Federal Ministry of Water Resources has done in Benue State, for instance?
Well, in Benue State, even the Makurdi regional water supply was supported by the federal government. You know, the contract was awarded by the state government, I think about 7 billion, and the federal government paid 30% of the cost of that contract, as far as I know. You know, and that's the scheme that is serving Makurdi now. Brand new scheme at that time, beautiful scheme. The federal government paid 30% counterpart fund for it.
Okay. Is that the reason why the ministry doesn't have staff in Makurdi?
No, we have our river basin.
Yeah, apart from the river basin and...
we don't have any staff stationed in any state.
Unlike the other ministries that have in federal secretariat.
We don't have field offices. We used to have field offices in the past, but that was eradicated maybe many years back in the 90s. So now we have the headquarters, and then we use the river basin for our state operations. Since we have 12 river basin authorities, covering average of 3 to 4 states. So whenever we want to have any operation in any of the states, we use them as the base, because they have all the complements of staff that we have at headquarters.
Water supply remains a major challenge in Benue State, such that even the state capital, Makurdi, that is practically sitting in the river, has had water challenges for several years, with successive administrations failing to do the needful. The other major towns in the state, including Otukpo and Katsina, also have their peculiar water challenges that have not been addressed over the decades. While the state government-owned Otobi, a water project that should supply clean and safe water to Otukpo town, has been out of use, Katsina town has no water.
Then water, you can see Merua people just behind you. What is the water situation in Katsina?
Those of us that are living around riverine areas, I don't know whether it's the seas that carry the water somewhere. We have boreholes here. The water system is very good here, but as soon as the dry season sets in, it dries up. So that's the problem. And some places you can't even get, the boreholes cannot get enough water. You sink up to a certain level, you can't get any water. So we have a problem.
The job for the Benue State government is clearly cut out if the state capital, Makurdi, and the major towns of Gboko, Otukpo, and Katsina are to have public water supply. That's straight talk. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch the program at your convenience. I am Terverr. Thanks to our partners, Media Dimensions, the Media Services Resource Center, and thanks a lot to you for watching, and goodbye from Abuja.